brace for race day at the Belgian Grand Prix, round 12 of the 2008 FF1M Championship. Here is the magnificent circuit which has produced lots of legendary racing. The brilliant Eau Rouge, the ultra-fast Blanchimont and the extremely tricky bus stop chicane has provided much action. The majority of the field are expected to do 2 stops, 81% over 19% for 3 stops, nobody considering the 1-stop strategy. And to review Q1, we saw Lewis Hamilton top the timesheets ahead of the 3 Sebastians, Vettel, Buemi and Bourdais. As usual, AJ, SF1, Autodynamics and GRM failed to make it through to Q2. Meanwhile in Q2, Bruno Senna took an extremely dominant pole position ahead of Robert Kubica, Nico Rosberg, Jenson Button, Kimi Raikkonen and Lewis Hamilton. Senna was more than a second quicker than Kubica and is expected to dominate the race. His teammate Maldonado was 11th, 2 seconds behind his own teammate. So to review the starting grid, it's Senna on pole, Kubica 2nd, Rosberg 3rd and Button 4th. Kubica and Button on the harder tyres, expecting to do better in the race, but Senna looking extremely quick. The next driver on the hard tyres is Pantano. Pedersen switching back to softs, and championship contender Klein is down in 15th. Could be worse, at least they're not FJR. Wirtz actually out-qualifying his teammate Alonso, but they're only down in 20th and 21st, only ahead of Andy Racing of Nelson Piquet in the Andy Racing. Ready for the Belgian Grand Prix, 5 lights, go out! And let's see on down to the run down to La Source. Kubica's got a good start. He's taking the lead, Kubica in the lead. Senna drops down to 2nd already. And he's pulling away mightily already, look at that. 2 tornadoes trying to go side by side into Eau Rouge. We've seen collisions here before, but Jenson Button backs off sensibly. Now let's see. Are they all going to get round through Eau Rouge safely? Yes, they do. Alonso side by side with an excellent. That could have been dangerous. He's up to 18th. Button's dropped down a position to Rosberg, who himself is down a position from his grid slot. Into Lecombe now. There's Nelson Piquet running at the back. But Kubica leads as they go around Rivage. That's good news for him as he's on the more favourable harder tyres. Rosberg under pressure from Button. He got past him at the run to Lecombe, but Jenson Button's trying to get back past him into the Fanny chicane. Button side by side. Round the outside at the second part, he's done it. And that's put Rosberg on the back foot for Kimi Raikkonen. Raikkonen also dropped a position from his grid slot. It was Pantano flying from 7th to 3rd, and side by side at Blanchimont, Raikkonen takes the position away from Rosberg. Hamilton also down a position. Flying up the order is Adrian Sutil from 13th on the grid. He's up to 8th. Hamilton looking to challenge Rosberg into the Lecombe. And he locks up, but he's ahead. Got some sort of overspeed there. I wonder if he cut in too early. And there's a blown engine. It's Giorgio Pantano. Lap 2, his engine has gone. And he's pulling off the track. Rosberg looking to make up for his poor start. Trying to take Lewis Hamilton for 5th place into the bus stop. And he's through. The Dark Wolf of Rosberg up to 5th position. And there's a big traffic jam going to La Source. There's some X-Elites in there. There's FJRs and Dodgems. And look at that, side by side. The 2 X-Elites battling, Davidson and Bourdais. And look at that, spinning goes past Maldonado, Eau Rouge, and oh my God, that was dangerous. He drove backwards back onto the track, and there was contact with an FJR. I think it was Alonso. Alonso was all right. And contact between Guy Racing, it's Clean and he's out! Christian Clean is out. He took someone else off as well, it's Adrian Suttill at the factory chicane. So that's dented Christian Clean's championship chances massively. Yanni's slow, that's him out of the race. He's pulling off with a technical problem. Now if that was a suspension problem at Eau Rouge, then that was very frightening indeed for him. Jenson Button's made a pit stop already, so he must be free stopping. Unless he's going to do 2 very long stints. But that's very early for Jenson Button. He's in 6th. And Raikkonen's also pitted, he's gone down to 13th. Alexander Wirtz from 10th place pits. Right, so we're roughly 10 laps into the race. Robert Kubica leads, having made a pit stop. Hamilton second, not having pitted. Jenson Button has just taken 3rd place from Bruno Senna. Trulli is up to 5th, having yet to make a stop. Alonso 7th, also yet to make a stop. And flying into the pits goes Lewis Hamilton. Now let's see how his stop compares. Because surely Jenson Button's trying a free stop, because that was very early. Down the car goes. He's been delayed, Trulli pitting as well. 11.1 seconds is the pit stop from Hamilton. So I think that's a 2 stop. But we'll have to see how the race pans out. He's down to 7th, ahead of Anthony Davidson and behind Kimi Raikkonen. That's a 2nd stop for Jenson Button. It's 10.9 seconds. Alonso pits, making his 1st pit stop. So, as bizarre as Jenson Button's strategy may be, it's definitely got him out ahead of Alonso, at least, who's making his 1st stop. So definitely 3 stopping for Jenson Button. He is 4th, so just keep an eye out on him later in the race. With Christian Clean out of the race, it's good news for Jenson Button as he looks set to take more points compared to Clean's non-score. It's 3 races in a row now that Clean has failed to score. He was shunted out back. He got in Germany, Hockenheim, he got in a collision with his teammate and very unlucky to suffer a mechanical problem in Hungary with only a few laps to go because it looked like a win for Clean. And in the end, both Shannons finished 1st and 2nd. Battling Dodgems now for 13th position and shutting the door of David Coulthard on Timo Glock, and they're both off the track. Coulthard's lost a wheel, he's out. And bang goes Buemi. There goes the BMW engine. And it's pulling off at the bus stop. Right at the pit lane entrance. Better hope nobody's pitting. Meanwhile, Piquet is under pressure from Davidson. Into the bus stop chicane. And Davidson takes 11th position. .17 laps to go. And into the pit lane comes Jenson Button, flying into the pit lane, in fact. Into his pit garage. 16 laps to go, this is his 3rd stop. And let's see how long his pit stop is. 10.4. Another pit crew is out, ready for one of their drivers. And out of the pit lane comes Jenson Button in 3rd position. And Senna's out from 2nd place! There's Bruno Senna, it was a puncture. We saw on the screen there. Button up to 2nd. That puts Rosberg up to 3rd place, Hamilton 4th, Raikkonen 5th, Vettel 6th, Alonso 7th. And off the track goes Vettel in 6th place. Just about making the 2nd chicane. And here's Robert Kubica in the lead, lap 44. We haven't seen any of him at all in the race, and he's 45 seconds ahead of Jenson Button. Rosberg in 3rd, Hamilton 4th, Kimi Raikkonen 5th, Vettel 6th, Alonso 7th, and Jarno Trulli for Mitchell in 8th place. Looking for that elusive point, because Jarno Trulli hasn't had any so far. So that will be good news for Mitchell team. But out of the final corner goes Robert Kubica to take another win for Guy Racing. That's his 2nd of the season, and Guy Racing's 3rd. Button comes home 2nd, extending his championship lead over Clean. The gap is now 14 points. Clean's collision with Suttil proving very costly indeed. And Bruno Senna, unfortunate, taking 15th position and retired with a puncture when he looked on course for 2nd. And we look at the championship, Button taking a stride now, despite not having had a win since Silverstone. Clean now dropping back a bit. Alonso just about hanging on to the back of Clean, but FJR are struggling. They need to do something about their car. Even so, they leap ahead of Shannon for 3rd in the championship. And Tornado being caught up by Guy Racing. So we'll see you for Monza. Another classic race.